Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to my Wrestlemania 31. Wrestlemania happened, and first of all, I just want to wish congratulations to Seth Rollins' hair. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic champion. So, what did I think of WrestleMania 31? Shut the fuck up, I'm going to tell you. I thought it was a good show. I didn't think it was a great show. A lot of people are out there thinking it's a great show, and yeah, they're probably right. They probably enjoyed it legitimately off their own backs. I think, considering that it had one of the worst build-ups of all of the WrestleManias, it was a good show, and people might be confusing that for a great show. It certainly had some amazing moments, but here's my problem with the show as a whole. This whole fascination with WrestleMania moments, brackets, trademark brackets, has sort of, it's made the WWE do that thing that they do, which is think short term, and even short term in terms of the event. Basically, they planned out each match based on which WrestleMania moments it was going to have, and as a consequence, most of the matches actually felt rushed, which is weird because we had 7 matches in 4 hours. Basically, everything on the card felt a little bit insubstantial, apart from the main event, and there were 1 or 2 things that felt maybe a little bit overindulgent. The Rock. But let's go through it beat by beat, and I'll tell you what I thought of WrestleMania 31. Let's start with the pre-show and the Four Corners tag team match between Cesaro, the Los Matadores, the Usos, and the New Day. Well, this is pretty much what everyone predicted was going to be, considering there was no story going into it, which was a spot fest. And you know what? Sometimes Daddy likes a spot fest. It was good. All the athletes are good. There's not a smidgen of story that doesn't involve Natalya, which is depressing. Yeah. But everyone put out their absolute best. Everyone got a little mention. Jey Uso's shoulder was explained away, or Jimmy Uso. Fuck knows. Basically, the other Uso that remained uninjured, he got an amazing time to shine, super kicking everything in sight, and the crowd really ate that up. Natalya versus Naomi happened. Natalya versus El Torito happened in the world's tiniest little sharpshooter. Basically, those were the story elements that got mentioned. That's it. There's nothing else going on, but it was good. The choreography was well maintained, the momentum was great, and there were a couple of moments that really did pop the crowd. The crowd had no real reason to be into this match, but they got a good reaction out of the crowd nonetheless. Kofi flew around, Big E looked great carrying 2 guys on his shoulder for the big ending. Cesaro deadlifting Big E from the apron into a superplex. That's fucking impressive. They did a dual Towers of Doom, which everybody loves. God, I've seen a Towers of Doom so many times, but it really does put the sugar in my bowl. Yeah, no, the action was clear and crisp. You could tell what was going on, which is impressive in a crowded match. The right people won, and I pretty much think everyone went home happy. So, well done to the tag teams. Now, how about a story? The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or the this was probably the best Battle Royal I think I've ever seen that isn't a Royal Rumble. Now, normally Battle Royals are incomprehensible messes, and to be honest, if you go back and watch the WrestleMania 30 Battle Royal, there's nothing going on until you get down to the last, 10 guys, and even then it's still a cluster fuck. But even when the ring was rammed, you could still see tiny little spots happening, which is impressive. Miz and Mizdow working together early on to eliminate folks. Hideo Itami, Kenta making his debut on a WrestleMania stage. That's pretty cool. Going hog wild on someone, I forget who, before being eliminated by the Big Show. Bye, Kenta. The Ascension eliminating Mark Henry, Big Show murdering the New Day, which I could watch forever. Weirdly, Kofi Kingston didn't get a spot. There was no Kofi moment. Have we given up on that now? Has a New Day taken everything we hold precious from us? Because it feels like that. Then, of course, it happened. Mizdow quat his job and eliminated The Miz, and to a huge WrestleMania pop, which is fantastic. It is a WrestleMania moment in and of itself. To be honest, Mizdow could probably have used the victory, considering now he's separated from Miz. Who knows how they're going to package his character. So some sort of hardened giant killer, taking down the Big Show, probably would have helped him establish something. But, a Big Show winning isn't the worst thing in the world. Essentially, this is sort of a golden handshake and bye, Big Show. I get the impression he's retiring soon. He's got to. He's too big to be a person. It's just, yeah. And to be honest, how ridiculous would it be if Big Show went his entire WWE career and never won a Battle Royal? Every Battle Royal he's in, people talk him up as being the favourite, and every time he's been sent down. So it's nice that he got that. Him doing that next to the statue, yeah, it looks good. Mizdow could have used a win more, but hey, what you gonna do? So we start with the ladder match. First of all, is Dean Ambrose okay? I'm genuinely concerned that he might have died. If you haven't seen the match, and why are you watching this video and not having watched WrestleMania, then you know what happened. Basically, Harper powerbombed him through a ladder, he fell backwards and looked like he really, really hurt his neck. The poor sausage. Yeah, I'm sort of genuinely worried about the guy. That's the sort of thing that can compress vertebrae. Anyway, I hope he's okay. If not, I hope it kind of shifts him back into being mental. That was the nastiest spot of the match. It was a good match. We've seen ladder matches now, and to be honest, there was nothing really here that felt hugely innovative. We saw the old classics, people jumping onto increasingly big crowds of people, finally ending in Ambrose dropping an elbow onto everybody. That was good. You had the thing where a big guy puts a ladder on his head and goes da 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 da. People climbing ladders really fast. Well done, Ziggler. People being sandwiched between ladders. It was fine. There was very little kind of new. I wouldn't say that we actually saw anything brand spanking new in terms of spots. It was fine. To be honest, it felt like it was one or two big multi-man spots short. I felt we could have done with maybe one or two total wipeout moments just to really kind of push it over the edge. Maybe a couple more minutes could have been just to push it into that kind of really fulfilling match. But ultimately, it was nice. And I loved the spot with Daniel Bryan and Ziggler headbutting each other for shit on top of the ladder. I thought that was great. I mean, Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan are two of the most legitimate workers in the WWE, and this spot really did have something of the New Japan Pro Wrestling about it. It was stiff, it was physical endurance, it was about two noble warriors just leathering the shit out of each other until one just has to fall. And it's great to have two guys be given such a kind of, I think the spot is prestigious, and Daniel Bryan winning the belt is the best thing that's happened to the belt in years. Let's just hope that here's to a lengthy title reign in which we can bring back the prestige of the IC title. Seth Rollins versus Orton. Jesus fuck, what an RKO. I mean, it was less of a match and more of an RKO, but what an RKO it was. From outer nowhere. Butter me up and send me home. I'm done. Yeah, it was a promising match. I don't think it was as good as it could have been. I think it was robbed of a few minutes again. I think we got an amazing beginning, very athletic, kind of leaping around, lots of good chain wrestling, especially from Seth Rollins. He's one of the most durable athletes on the roster. And then we kind of got to kicking out of each other's finishes a bit too early, I thought. I mean, the match didn't go much over 10 minutes. I get the feeling we had a great, and the ending was spectacular, going to the curb stop and it was wonderful. How I feel is we had a great Act 1 and a great Act 3, but no great Act 2. We needed to tell a bit more of a story. We need to see more of the endurance, these guys putting each other through hell. And we didn't really get it, which left the match feeling like it was lacking a substantial something, which is a shame because it had such great potential. I mean, ultimately, was it going to have the great storyline payoff? Probably not, because we already saw the great storyline payoff on Raw a couple of days ago. But hey, that happens. Either way, good match, just not the match it could have been. Triple H versus Sting. Triple H's entrance was fucking... with the fucking... No, take it seriously. He's a 45-year-old man. And Sting, yeah, it's weird to see Sting during the daytime. I guess, you know, the sun's still out, so there's not much we can do about that, but his entire sort of lead-up was to do with blackouts and appearing in darkness and a single bulb lighting his face. And then here he is, all 56 years of the man just walking down the ramp like an uncle got lost on the way out of the circus. It's fine. This is the match that people grumble about. Triple H winning and stuff, but what do you want? Sting is of the old school, and the old school wrestling philosophy is you lose your last match. If this is it and all he's got left is the Hall of Fame, then yeah, it makes sense. He competes at WrestleMania, has a big load of WrestleMania moments, and then that's it, off into the sunset. You know, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, you lose your last match. To be honest, win-losses, do they really matter? I mean, look at the match. The whole thing is just fucking spectacle. And the moments were huge. I mean, DX versus NWO, never seen that. Triple H versus Sting, never seen that. Shawn Michaels super kicking Sting in the face, never seen that. And, you know, if there's anything to complain about, it's the fact that the guys shook hands in the ring afterwards. That makes no sense. I mean, it came off the end of this kind of great spot where the baseball bat beat the sledgehammer. That was lovely. And then Triple H used the sledgehammer to fell Sting for the 1, 2, 3. And it's just like, your entire match was built around the kayfabe feud you had was... Sting views Triple H as corrupt. He wants to take down Triple H, you know, and the babyface didn't win. You know, the corrupt heel used heel tactics, striking with a foreign object to get a cheap win. Why is there a handshake after that? Look, I mean, I'm not dumb. Obviously, this, you know, the meta spectacle of what's happening, all of these amazing guys, all 460 years of them, that's the combined ages of everyone in this match, nearly half a millennium worth of dude. I mean, this spectacle is phenomenal. Of course it is. And it's ultimately a feel-good phenomenon seeing all of these guys together. But you built an angle. Okay, you explicitly said it wasn't WWE versus WCW, but then suddenly JBL's like, we won again, and like all the battle lines are being drawn, DX versus NWO, so it is WWE versus WCW, and now there's this feel-good moment when there's no reason because of the kayfabe angle you put in place. It's confusing. It's just weird, like, as if I'm splitting hairs massively because we got to see all sorts of things we'd never seen before. But just like pick a thing, WWE. Either it's a celebration of wrestling past or an actual feud with real hatred at the heart of it. But pick a thing. By the way, a 56-year-old man jumping off the top turnbuckle to the outside. That's amazing. Bellas versus AJ and Paige. First of all, congratulations to the WWE for the restraint in not calling them Paige. I mean, after Ryback, I honestly thought you were capable of anything, but no, I guess maybe you just didn't think of it. Maybe I'm cleverer than you. It was fine. One of the best worked matches, really, because no one really expected something of it, so the minutes it was given made sense. It was a bit weird that AJ took a couple of shots to the face and then took a nap on the outside, giving Paige pretty much the majority of the work, but it led to a genuinely hot tag. Nice to see the Bellas lose. So, yeah, no real complaints. The only, I guess, if I had to complain about something, is there was no storyline progression or conclusion or anything. I mean, Paige and AJ got on from word one. There was no dissension, no even hint at a dissension. And then they just won. Alright, it's just a thing that happens. I can't say any more than that. Rusev versus Cena. Rusev's entrance kicks ass. Such, brilliant throwback. He's invading. Part of me just wanted the tanks to start firing into the crowd. What? So, the match itself was, again, not quite as much cop because, again, it felt robbed of minutes. it ran a little short. You know, in this case, you know, we had a great Act 1, a great Act 2. Didn't really feel like we had an Act 3. It started great. Rusev looked amazing. He looked every inch the young hotshot with his first WrestleMania big match, and he wanted to make the absolute fucking most out of all of his time. You know, his kicks were crunchy as fuck. He looked like a snarling guy. Lana looked great. John Cena looked like he had the wind taken out of his sails, to be honest. I mean, he wrapped himself in the American flag and they still booed him. It's got to make a fella feel down. It's got to take a little bit of the shine off your apple, hasn't it? But I can't feel that sorry for John Cena. He lives in the biggest house in the world. So, yeah, great Act 2. You know, these guys were wearing each other down, locking each other in the submissions. Feels good. And then where are the false finishes? That's all it needed to kind of push this match into the upper strata, to really make people feel like anything could happen. But yeah, there was just no, you know, Rusev didn't even kick out of Cena's AA, and everyone's done that now. Is it because he's foreign? And then you end with the easiest finish ever when there's a manager involved. The heel runs into the manager and then turns around for the finisher, and 1, 2, 3. We've seen that. It's lazy. We know, like, it doesn't feel like a legitimate finish. So everyone's like, oh, really? An AA and a sloppy one at that, and that's how you end the streak? Ultimately, the match was sort of fine, but yeah, it felt like Seth Rollins and Randy Orton, felt like there was a substantial bit of it missing. And that's probably to do with what came next. The longest promo in the world! Seriously, was this like half an hour long? 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe more? Fuck me, it felt overindulgent. I get it, it's The Rock, we're happy to see him. Ronda Rousey, I don't know who she is, but evidently she was a big deal. You know, Triple H is out there, Steph is doing career best work as a heel. But it's just like, guys, come on, marshal the crowd. You can't just be so self-indulgent and just wait for all the stuff to finish. What you do is you ride their momentum. You push through the crowd reactions, forcing them on and on and on, so you keep the momentum of the promo, keeping that white-hot electricity feel. Because remember, it's not just the people in the stadium, it's the people at home, and I was so bored. Everyone I was with was just shouting, fight, just hit her, someone do something. Especially when the promo didn't really go to a definitive end. You know, there was an arm lock, and that was it. She escaped, and it was like, it's like we wanted a rock bottom or something with an impact, something with a definitive full stop so we know when to cheer. Aha, the promo's over, we can go fucking wild. But no, it's sort of just a not that strong looking submission move, and then it ends. So, oh, you could tell that the crowd felt deflated by the end because they started booing. The Rock had to come in and save it with a catchphrase. Anyway, just like so much time given, and so many other matches had their kind of lengths kind of squeezed out, and that makes me so cross because it's not promo mania. Big moments, but what about the matches? Undertaker versus Wyatt. This match suffered because of it. It also suffered being in the day. I mean, one of the things that Wyatt's got are his fireflies. Let him have them. And The Undertaker, he's a creature of the night. It felt really weird that we're seeing these guys in the day. Again, I'm not sure exactly what they could have done. I think Vince has used up his sort of changing the weather card by calling in that superstorm when he wanted it. You know, you can only ask God for so much. But yeah, it just felt a bit weird, and it just showed up, that and the short match length, it just exposed what is becoming now a really kind of repetitive Undertaker WrestleMania match formula. Undertaker comes out, hits old school early on, gets beaten up, takes a finisher, kicks out at 2. The other guy who he's fighting, he takes a tombstone, he kicks out at 2. They fight a bit more, then the other guy's finisher is counted into a tombstone, 1, 2, 3. It's just, if the match is going to go short, like it did, then these things are really noticeable. There was only one original spot in the whole thing, which is the spider walk into the sit-up, which everyone knew they were going to do anyway. How could you not? Still, at least The Undertaker didn't look like a potato this year, which is really something. It was fine, but again, a lot of the story was sort of eked out because, well, they started getting punch drunk really early on. They were only fighting for, what, 5-6 minutes, and they were already kind of groggy and staggering all over the place. Didn't feel believable. Didn't feel like an actual match length. Lesnar versus Reigns. This is my shit. This is the sugar daddy likes. So stiff. And the blood made it feel so big. It made it feel like, yeah, the grandest stage of them all. It gave that little extra something into like an epic slugfest. First of all, poor Reigns, they made him walk through the crowd. I know they gave him, SWAT teams to look after him, but people were pushing his head, and that's not cool. Poor guy, it's not his fault we hate him. It's what he represents. Brock looked amazing. Roman Reigns looked amazing. It didn't help Roman Reigns' whole John Cena 2.0 thing that he only hit 3 Superman punches and 3 spears. But oh my God, after that second spear, where it was 2 spears in a row, like my heart kind of almost burst. I was like, oh no! And like I was climbing the walls, which is exactly what you want from a match. I was so into it, and just, seeing Roman Reigns get thrown around. Suplex City, bitch. Fuck, I can, I will. I want that on a t-shirt. And then the cash-in, it makes sense. I get it. I understand why they did it. Lesnar loses the title without, being pinned. Reigns avoids a Superman curse by taking a beating of a lifetime and losing like any human would. Rollins looks like a chicken shit heel. He's the next Edge. Look, by its nature, the briefcase is a Deus Ex Machina. It comes in and completely alters and rewrites the conclusion of a match. And it's just... the conclusion of a narrative is what WrestleMania is. It's all about things ending. Yes, it sets up Rollins versus Reigns, Rollins versus Lesnar, Lesnar versus Reigns. We need to see how that ends. It's just that I wanted to see, pick an ending and stick to it. Yes, it was a shocking moment, but I think the match suffered as a result. And ultimately, that's a microcosm of WrestleMania for me. They seem to write the big WrestleMania moments, trademark, but all of the matches just ran a little short. They all felt like they were missing something substantial. We just need that one great bell-to-bell awesome match. And everything felt a little squeezed out for time. It's sort of mad that on a 4-hour show, you can't have 7 matches and all of them feel as substantial and long as they need. Perhaps because there's a huge fucking promo in the middle of the show. I love wrestling so much, and I like it for 2 reasons. One, great stories told in the matches and memorable moments. And we had one of those in WrestleMania 31. So ultimately, good, memorable, but yeah, a B+ show. So, that's what I think. Do you agree? If not, tell me about it in the comments below, and do subscribe and do share this around. I'd appreciate it awfully. I'll be doing a couple of videos coming up, obviously, hopefully 1 a week, and certainly 1 this week when I'll be talking about the Raw post-Mania, the best Raw of the year. So stick around for that. I'm the posh guy who likes wrestling. Cheerio.